Watch the fire. It doesn't fall as one blaze. It separates, tongues of flame dividing in the air, coming to rest on each of them, one by one. At Babel, God shattered human language into pieces and walked away from the nations. 50 days counted from Passover week, at the festival Greek-speaking Jews called Pentecost, the 50th. He picked the broken pieces up and he aimed them. This is not the story of a miracle. It's the story of a weapon. Rewind to the divorce. Deuteronomy 32, when the Most High divided the nations, he set their boundaries according to the number of the sons of God, and kept one people for himself, Jacob. Everyone else was handed off to lesser gods. 70, by tradition's count of the names. A claim is paper. So what does a repossession actually look like on day one? How do you send one message into languages God himself shattered? Acts chapter 2. Suddenly a sound like a mighty rushing wind came from heaven. They saw tongues like flames of fire that separated and came to rest on each of them. Wind, fire, language. Now check the date. This didn't happen on a random Tuesday. It happened on the Feast of Weeks, Shavuot, a festival Jewish tradition came to associate with Sinai. One book from before the New Testament era, Jubilees, already calls it the feast, to be kept to renew the covenant every year. Covenant Day, in at least one Jewish tradition already. And on that day, of all days, in wind and fire, God claims everyone. The room fills with languages no fisherman from Galilee had any business speaking. Luke says the audience was already there. Now there were dwelling in Jerusalem God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven. Every nation under heaven. That's Luke's way of saying the whole map showed up. And that phrase, under heaven, should sound familiar. Deuteronomy 4, the host of heaven, a portion to all the nations under heaven. Yet the Lord has taken you. The nations got the gods. Israel got Yahweh. That was the deal. Luke never footnotes the echo, but the vocabulary is the divorce's own. Now listen to Luke read the map. Parthians, Medes, Elamites, Mesopotamia, Cappadocia, Pontus, Asia, Phrygia, Pamphylia, Egypt, Libya, Rome, Cretans and Arabs. Each name, a place the message is about to travel. Not the old allotment list. The lists don't match, and they don't need to. The point isn't the roster, it's the direction. Run the 2 days, side by side. Babel, one language shattered into many, and the nations scatter away from a condemned city. Pentecost, many languages, carrying one message. And the nations stand gathered in Jerusalem, hearing it together. Same pieces, run backwards. One language becomes many. Many languages carry one. Scattered from Babel, gathered to Zion. It's almost too clean. And here's the problem. And yes, we're going to hand it to you straight. Acts 2 never says the word Babel, not once. Peter stands up and points at the prophet Joel instead. The reversal reading isn't spelled out in the text. It's a pattern you have to see. So why did a Hebrew Bible scholar, a scholar whose reputation was built on sticking to what the text actually says, stake his case on a chapter that never mentions it? His name was Dr. Michael Heiser. Asked about it on his podcast, his answer was blunt. The reversal begins at Pentecost. The reversing of Babel. He'd given it a whole chapter in the unseen realm. His case wasn't the word Babel, it was the pattern Peter does quote. This is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. All people, not one nation, the disinherited, back on the guest list. That's the claim from last dispatch, executing in real time. And Luke plants one more detail. That crowd came from everywhere. and tradition holds many were pilgrims, in town for the feast, people with return tickets. Watch what happens when they go home. Honesty first. Luke's own words. These Jews were dwelling in Jerusalem, residents. Only the visitors from Rome get called visitors. Acts never actually says the Pentecost crowd carried the message home. That part is inference. Heiser himself ran it. Jews come to Pentecost, they believe. They go back to the nations. What is in the text is the trajectory. Jesus, days earlier, "You will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, the ends of the earth. A repossession schedule read outward. 30 years later, one apostle is still reading it. Paul, writing to Rome, "I hope to see you on my way to Spain." Spain, the far western rim of the known world. In Heiser's reading, Paul is working a map, completing the circuit of the disinherited nations. Paul never says that. What he says is Spain, as far from Jerusalem as a Roman road could take him. Now, the honest 45 seconds, because this channel owes you the cracks in its own case. That verse we started with, sons of God, is disputed. A Dead Sea Scrolls copy of Deuteronomy 32 reads sons of God, and the Berean Standard Bible follows it. Most copies of the Old Greek translation read angels of God. The traditional Hebrew text reads sons of Israel. Scholars defend both sides, and your Bible's footnote probably tells you so. And no, Acts 2 never names Babel. We told you that when it mattered. Is this reading certain? No, and we will always tell you so. So Babel gets an answer. The divorce gets a reversal. One message, moving back up every road the nations scatter down. This ark is closed. But Peter, the man who stood up that morning, believed something even stranger about how deep this war goes. He wrote the strangest sentence in the New Testament because of it. Jesus, he says, went and preached to spirits in prison, spirits who disobeyed back in the days of Noah. Spirits in prison since Noah. Who are they? That's next. If you're new to this war, start at Babel, then the commission. The fire will make more sense.